Forget.
Motion to approve.
Motion to adjourn.
Now you can start the meeting.
All right. Call to order. Welcome to this evening's meeting, April 19th. Approval of the minutes. Everybody get a chance to review the minutes from last month?
You did.
I wasn't here. So
You were not.
I wouldn't know what they were.
Anybody would like to make a motion to approve them?
I'm okay. Motion to approve.
All right, I'll second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Minutes are approved. Thank you, Michael.
Did you assume?
I already read it.
No, I meant.
Oh. All right, bingo. I guess Christine's not gonna be here this evening either, right?
No, she's
told us-
not. She had a
What?
appointment.
Yeah, so last night at the Parks and Rec, she said that they were up to close to 30,
I think we're a little over 40 now.
40, okay.
With tickets sold, and I could venture at the door, we'd sell probably anywhere from 5 to 10 usually at the door. People coming in that night.
Mhm.
All the prizes have been obtained for the game, so we've mapped that out. We have 7 raffle baskets or 8 raffle baskets right now.
We brought another one in last night.
Yep,
So
that one I'm counting
okay,
that
okay,
one.
good, okay, good.
So that's part of it. And Joanne from Babylon School Dance System dropped one off today as well. So we're up to 8.
And we have sponsors for every game.
Yeah, and where we didn't get sponsorship donations, if somebody gave a significant basket or something, we put them on there as a sponsor for a game. Couple of different prizes this year. One of them is going to be a home brewed kit for beer, and it's an autograph. The Eagles sent us an autograph picture to go with it, so we're kind of putting those two together as one prize. I think we're really all set for everything. I just want to fine tune when people can be there and what they can help with, mainly at the beginning, which is setup.
I'll be there at the setup.
Which we're gonna plan on being there at 3:30.
I'll meet you there at 3:30.
To set up all the tables and everything, get everything all set up. We have the volunteers lined up that will they are really good at handling all the raffles, the 50-50 and everything.
Are you gonna be at the setup?
I'm gonna be there at the setup.
And Bob, right?
Me, Bob, Christine, and you.
Okay.
Okay, I get there about 4:30. So
that's plenty of people.
And then Mary Beth, if you wouldn't mind doing helping out at the door again.
Okay.
That would be great.
I'll start drinking coffee at 2 p.m.
Yeah. Well, I'll be there with you at that table this year, since I'm not.
No, as long as no one comes in this year yelling about green tickets or whatever was going on.
What tickets?
Yeah, never mind. Long story.
So Christine, I'll have that squared away, and you and I can check people in and
Okay. So
get them their cards and stuff like that.
30 at the door. And we'll have a list of people, or do they have tickets, or we're just gonna list names?
I believe if you
bought
through
receipt.
Eventbrite, they send you a ticket that you can print out.
Yeah, but
bring.
half the people are gonna forget to
Well, we'll have a list too. Who paid on Eventbrite.
pay and what.
Yeah, you can download the participants.
The best way to do it is just highlight the name when they come. Bring a highlighter when they get their tickets, just highlight their name. And that way, when another person comes in and says that name, you're like, somebody already picked up the.
Yeah, and at the door, if anyone buys, we're not worried about Eventbrite. We're just $30. Here's your ticket. Move on.
Okay. We're selling.
And then
extra...
you're selling specials too.
Okay.
Yeah, we have the special game tickets and the
extra
extras.
cards. Okay.
Extra cards again.
All right, so I'll get there about 5:30ish.
That probably works for everything. Just get it kind of that area situated for check-in.
Index cards with the prices, so they can just tape them right so people can see, and they don't have to ask her a million times, how much are these? How much are these?
Yeah, we have signs for that. Christine and I are gonna work on that tomorrow.
Okay.
With our usual prices that we'll
But
have
people
out.
don't read signs anyway, so we'll be telling them, but that's okay.
It's right in front of them. All you gotta do is say.
It doesn't matter. Do you know how many people walk right past the signs at the courthouse? Huh? What?
I
What
could
take
give
what
you an
out of my
example of
pockets?
phone calls I get during the day. You have to call this entity. Do you have the number? Hold on, let me Google it for you. Because it's, you gotta look it up the same way everybody else does. But otherwise, I think we're good. Dale, are you gonna be there throughout to help at the
Yep.
end? 'Cause I don't know if I'm going to, once the games get started, I don't know if I'm gonna take advantage of not staying since Christine's here.
I usually, oh, okay, you're gonna leave, so,
So the,
I
okay.
just wanna make sure someone's there. Someone's gonna be there at the end with her. If you're gonna be there, fine. If not, let me
Christine's
know.
staying?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll load everything in Christine's car this time
Yeah,
and make sure she has everything. I will play the game because I play, and then when somebody hits, either the volunteers or I'll get up and we call the numbers to the check to make sure it's a
yeah.
legal
not-
winner.
should I give Christine the cash box too?
She gets everything.
Yeah, at the end of the night.
Okay.
And Bob won't be there, right? Or will he?
He'll be there to set up.
But not at the end, right?
No. So, depending, and Steven was there at the end, I think, and that's why I'm asking if he's bringing his kids or not, if they'd be there.
Last we left it, he was.
Yeah,
I believe Cynthia's coming. I'll be there to help. We just help clean up anyway.
The only thing is Christine taking the money home. I didn't mind you having it, but is she,
yeah.
I don't want anybody breaking in her car, because I think it's televised.
I mean, I'm gonna
We just
advise
said
her
it
to
has
do
money.
the same thing
We give it-
I did, which is I always left, came back here and I put everything. I went in the building, went through both doors, shut the alarms off, and I put them inside the offices.
She has the alarm codes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll make sure she has that.
And where do you live?
I mean,
Mary Beth?
Right up the street.
Okay, you're gonna be there at the end?
Bring the
Yeah.
cash box.
Okay,
She's
then
by herself.
Her-
can you be her
I will.
her second
I
set of
will
eyes?
Come with her.
Perfect. Okay, so
Yeah.
the
Okay,
ladies will
I
come
was
here.
gonna say, because she's by herself, she needs to be with somebody.
Yeah, I don't want her alone. That's no. I felt bad with Mike having the money. It was like,
No,
oh,
I always just came back that same night before I went home and I brought and put everything.
I could take it home with me. Any burglar would have a very hard time finding anything in my house.
no, it's the
But
What are you saying?
Because I think I'm gonna
it's
advise her to do
a
this.
royal mess.
Because the police station's here, come right to here, come right inside.
Okay, well-
Lock up the cash box and.
Mary
offices.
Beth will be there with her, so
Yeah.
that's fine. As
We'll
long as
lock it
she,
Yeah.
yeah, as long as
You
she
know,
has another
maybe-
set of eyes. Yep.
We'll just count the cash before. Would that make
I
you
know.
feel better?
No, I mean, I don't want anybody to jump her.
Jumper
No,
Here.
he's not saying, he's saying
in
for,
New Britain Township.
he's not saying anything.
You watching the news lately?
Yeah, I
He's saying
know.
he doesn't want people getting jumped is what he was
Yeah.
saying.
I get that.
So I'm the bodyguard.
There you
Your
go.
second set of eyes is all you need to be. And 911. That's all, just,
So good. So hopefully we'll get more people at the last minute. I mean, one thing that I noticed, I was distributing flyers and I did another round and the shop owner of El
Limon,
Taco Guacamole,
Mhm.
El Toro.
El Toro, he said to me, he says, "Oh, I got the email from the township." So, I mean, that's good if we can get every business email and send them the flyers.
Yeah, that's what Christine did this year was rather than mailing them, she went and found and emailed everything.
And that's perfect, because if we can even ask them like, hey, support the township, we try to support our local businesses. If you could print out the flyer and put it and post it on your door or your bulletin board, like a nail salon, the guy says, okay, I'll take them to where they get their nails dried.
So I have to stare at it. Mhm.
Yeah. So, we could maybe ask the businesses to, like, welcome you to the township. We want to support you, support us. If you could print it and post it. I mean, that's another way to,
Well, it was the idea between the little picture frames that we gave out was for the committee members to go out to local businesses
Yeah.
and give those out to ask them to display them.
I still have one in the back of my truck.
no, I gave mine out.
I gave one out.
I gave
How
3
many?
to Pine Run or 4 to Pine Run.
They don't come. How many did we have last year?
We didn't.
This was
Okay,
new
right, so
new
it's in-
idea.
No, people,
People,
tickets. How
last
much?
year we were somewhere between 70 and 80.
I wouldn't get alarmed about the people.
I'm gonna,
No,
after
it's-
this year, I want to graph where this event has been trending, because my guess is it's been slowly trending in the opposite direction. My guess is partially a lot from oversaturation of bingo events.
I've noticed, yeah, a
100%.
ton, a ton.
So, you know,
Well, the
Being
activities,
held at this time of year. I mean,
Yeah,
maybe if
and-
we moved it earlier in the winter.
I had some
not good.
discussions with staff today, you know, we need to start, I want to just track that to see, to have an honest conversation with the committee. If we're continuing down this path, do we attempt to try and do something a little different to shake things up next year or what? But I would think since its inception, it's the attendance has kind of trended this way.
well, the activities director from Pine Run, and I never knew that. She says we have a bingo every Wednesday or every Thursday, whatever it is.
Yeah, and they don't
Yeah.
even have to leave.
And they didn't want, I got a bad feeling that she really didn't want to participate. So
competition.
I asked Christine if she can call her, and she got the same thing. No, we'll post it, but we have our own bingo events.
I mean, that's kind of what Christine told me. They told her they have their own events, so at night, if they don't really want to leave and they have an event that's held right on site for them,
They're gonna kind of leave.
then they don't have to leave. So
And the prizes might not really fit that
they may not be,
interest in golf and designer purchase.
That's true. That's a good point.
you know, because that would be a discussion too. If this would be better if we shifted it back to just designer bags or if we,
No. That really ran its course.
but
Yeah, they were duds the last couple. Bag bingo, purse bingos are just saturated. Everybody has them.
But there's a lot of bingo events, that's for sure.
So
I know I should know the answer to this question, but are we not allowed to give out cash prizes?
game of chance is our license.
it covers. Some of what we're doing covers that small, depending on how large the cash prizes
Well,
are.
We
I'd
could,
have to read everything and confer with our solicitor.
Yeah.
to Make sure I'm interpreting it correctly. But,
well, you know, you gotta look at the tickets sold. You can't really, if you're trying to raise money, you can't be too generous, so. Well, we're on for 2 days from now, so let's see if people show up at the door. I think I sold a bunch of tickets last year at the door.
Right. You usually do. And the reason being, I was talking to Marco about this. Most people don't want to commit. I wouldn't want to commit to Friday until I see what happens Friday. You know, it's to save $5 or $10 to pre-register. I would rather just give it to the cause when I go Friday. If I'm not going, then I didn't waste the $25.
Right.
But once you're going and you're donating to the cause, you don't mind because you're doing it just like a golf outing, same type of thing. It's hard to commit to an outing early. It's a day off of work, all that. Nobody does it in the last minute. People check the weather and stuff like that and see what they got going on. And then they commit.
And I did speak with Jim Dunn, and he was going to put the word out.
yeah, and I had Christine reach out to the VFW through George, Bill Malone, Woody Hipple, Jim Dunn, put out some emails to them to see if we couldn't get some of them showing up again. Because they were a lot, they used to roll 40 people deep for us when they would
Yep.
come. So, you know, if we can get them to come out and force again, that would be great. But otherwise, all the bags are bought. All his prizes we've gotten today. Like I said, some of them are a little different, but we're up to 8 raffle baskets. We do the 50-50. So other than that, just making sure we have people there to man it, and I'll wait to hear from Steve. And I'm assuming if Angelo's there, he'll also be there to help clean up. So I think we'll have enough people from that regard and volunteers to cover what we need to do.
Yeah, I got that down to a science.
But like I said, the last meeting, Steve said he's coming with his sons. So
I'm gonna recommend that use Steve's sons as like bag runners. As I did in the past with like Tim and Shell's sons when they were there, you know.
So are Shell and Kim upset they won't be attending?
They're more than allowed, they're more than allowed to attend if they'd like to.
Oh, okay.
It's a fun night out. If you haven't done one, or everybody has, I guess, at this point, but we have a lot of fun. A little bit of heckling and stuff like that going on, and that's what it's about.
I always have fun doing, like, it's a long night, but it's, when the event's going on, it's usually pretty fun and lively crowd. Well, but other than that, I think we're good. I don't think there's much really to cover on that.
The only thing I wanted to mention, do you have pie game?
Oh, yes, thank you.
That's
We
the
have
tough one.
some, but I was gonna ask the community if everybody could just maybe get 2 10 to 15 $20 gift cards just to have as tiebreakers, just so we make sure we have enough to cover that as far as
From where and for what?
any, I would say that we have cards from Manhattan Bagel.
Yeah, but I saw you got $50 cards.
Yeah.
I would rather you get 5 10s.
Well, maybe we'll run over to Manhattan and see if we can break some of them apart too.
Because that's where it was good. We'd give a $10 gift card as a secondary prize.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Just, I don't really care where they're from. I would just ask, a couple
Right.
$10 ones to bring just so we have them. Because it's, always try to make sure that when we have ties, everybody at least gets something, so it's not the end of everything.
No, people get mad when they win and then they don't win.
So from that standpoint, Christine's already mapped out all the games, so we're really.
How are you handling tiebreakers? That's the other thing.
It says it on the call sheet, and it will make sure it's on the table for people to see high, low numbers.
On the
Center of the card, from what I've learned doing this.
Oh, okay.
So
Just-
each, in the free space, there's always a number, so the either high or low, there's a number under the
okay.
word free, there's a number under there, that's the number you use.
That always seems to be the only sticky point, is when somebody wins.
So we just alternate high, low for each
Yep.
game. Yeah,
So how many we need?
I would just say that if the committee can bring 2 each, that should be more than enough, I would think, with what we already have. Because I think that's a good idea, Dale. Maybe we'll run one over to Manhattan and see if they'll break it for us into 2 or into 5 $10 ones.
Right. They're the
I wanted
best.
to have a little bit of variety, at least in the sense of not everybody that loses gets Manhattan Bagel gift cards.
Right. Well, it's okay.
Well, I think I still have
It's
the
a
one I got
consolation prize.
last year. Maybe I'll just donate that back.
You can do that too.
Yeah.
I forget where that was from.
But that would be the only other thing I would ask the community to try and do before Friday, just bring a couple of those, just so we have.
Stop by a couple
Whoa.
NBI and go see Dino.
Did somebody hit up Wawa for this event yet?
No,
Okay, because I'll stop in Wawa and ask them. Because I have the flyer, I have everything I need. I'll see if he'll give us, as many as he can give us. And then we just keep them in there. The best part with the gift cards, we can use them for another event.
yeah, I think we went through them all last year because I didn't have any left.
It's about 10 to 15 you need backup ties.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. I think
What do you get? What do you give them with that? You give them like the flyer, or you give them the what do you give them in return?
The winner,
No,
most of the time we've just bought them, like paid $30 and have a couple of them. We're not asking for, when it comes to those gift cards, they've been bought in the past, not
Gifted.
gifted.
Gifted. Okay.
Yeah, I bought a couple of Wawa last time.
Wawa gift cards, lottery tickets are a winner. Any local business, but we should start thinking, are the township selling amusement park tickets and all this year? Not
We
getting
haven't
in?
done that since before COVID,
Yeah.
and
So I
it wasn't really.
Did we sell? I didn't think we sold a lot.
People bought them here, but because they could get them at a discounted rate. But as far as the township making hand over fist on it, no.
Well, that's not the reason they did it, though.
Yeah,
They did it for the residents.
but they
Like
just
they-
never really picked that up again after COVID.
I can't remember last time I saw that.
It was.
No, me neither. That's why I brought it up.
They used to sell
what I was getting
Blue Mountain tickets, ski
Yeah.
lift tickets, all that stuff.
And we used to use them because I used to buy them here. The different events.
Just with COVID,
created
we never
budget.
went back. It just was one of those things that never picked up again afterward.
It might be a good idea because then the ties we could give New Britain Township event
Yeah,
tickets.
but if we didn't sell them, we gave them back and got credited back.
I would think I think they're a little more expensive than $10 or $15.
No, I mean, when we have a tie at bingo, you get $15 towards
Oh,
entertainment
towards-
tickets at New Britain
Eh,
Township.
that's not much of a prize if you're not gonna go to an amusement park or. I think they'd rather have the gift card to Wawa. Everyone can use something at Wawa, gas,
Okay.
coffee.
Plus, there's enough to do this. They have enough to do in the township.
Yeah. Okay, duly noted.
If we can
Wawa.
find anything in there.
I mean, they still have to paint this whole room.
Yeah, I don't know why we didn't get this painted while we were painting the rest. So we knew we were gonna do it, so.
What
It's
did that
not-
have to do with
All
bingo?
right, so
Not saying.
enough with bingo. Fall festival. So we covered that a little bit last night. Got an update from the tricentennial people,
Mhm.
but you're probably the best person to update us on everything.
There's our sweatshirts.
Excuse me. Everything that the committee recommended last week was approved last night or Monday at the board meeting.
Yep.
Very cool.
So we're moving forward with that. Once we get through the I'm gonna try and schedule after we're done with the renovations, that meeting. I'm off topic
I've
on
seen. I'm
on
on
that for the
that
fireworks,
committee too.
but if we really want to pursue the food trucks for this year, we're gonna start reserving some. And I think this is gonna be kind of a trial and error thing, but talking with Christine. We're gonna do as best we can to research this year. From what I know, most places they say, if we make this much, we'll give you a certain percentage of it. Talking with Christine, I think, I don't know if we're gonna get it right this year, but I want to see how it works, but hopefully move to next year having some sort of contract that we sign. Maybe that's just a flat, because looking back at what we would make off food, maybe I can make it past $200 and
What I would suggest the board do, Ambler has their festival coming up. They're at a point now where they charge the trucks fair amount of money, but they kick butt. But we can learn how they do a lot of things.
I've heard multiple different ways to do it, but I would, if we're gonna be doing it, like to have some kind of rate and a contract that they sign that they're, that we're not left without food on the day of the
Yeah,
event without
yeah.
having.
No, it doesn't stop someone from having a problem and not showing up, but if they have to pay ahead of time, they're pretty much gonna be.
Well, I want to do something that locks them in ahead of time, so we know early enough going in what we have and what we're getting, because most of the time with the food, we made $800,000. So if we're doing.
So
Or
that's
food
what I was gonna
trucks
ask,
or-
how much did
We
we
make
make on?
anywhere from $700 to $900. It depends on the year.
And that's getting
and
the
that's
food
not-
donated.
And that's,
That doesn't count labor either.
Oh,
yeah, so, I mean, from that standpoint,
We're all free
No,
labor.
we have 4 public work
no,
guys around.
Public Works,
Yeah,
so.
and
if
they
we
hovered around a lot.
If we have
Marco
the,
did a lot of
have the
work.
food trucks and stuff, that'll free up. I would estimate if we have that, we would only need 2 public, like, for the entire event, we need 2 public works employees constantly moving around and emptying trash.
And so if we get 4 food trucks, and this is just a thought, and we charge them each $200, that's what we make in food right there. So, but I don't know what their margin
I
is.
said to Christine, and I don't know if this committee is more inclined to that. I said, let's try it this year, let them come for free. And then say that they'll pay us a percentage of their profits and see what we get. And then we can go if they.
they do well, they'll wanna come back and then we can charge them.
Yeah,
If they don't do well,
I just didn't, that was my first thought. I wanted to see what the committee thought of that.
Well, that's how we did New Britain Borough Covered Bridge. We let them come and then they gave us a donation based on what they made. And let them decide what they want to help. My personal opinion, I think we did okay on 2, and I think the other 2 sandbagged us a little.
Well, and that's the risk we run. That's what I'm saying. I'm kind of looking at it as, but we haven't done it before, so I don't know that we have the leg to stand on to say, give me money to come here
yeah,
right now. But my initial thought was, let's try it however they want this year, and if we have the turnout we did last year, I imagine they'll do pretty well. and we'll have more room to bring them back. But I know Christine's already locked in the Kona ice truck for it. I wish Steven was here because I know he was talking about knowing people with food trucks. I'd like
Pizza shop was the one.
the one Angela said
That's
they're
right.
booked.
Okay, that was
We
Angela.
did call
Okay.
them. They're booked for that weekend already.
Pepinos or
No,
it
it
was the
was
food truck?
It was an Italian restaurant.
On 611.
I can't remember the name of it. It was with an A.
Yeah, I know.
Is Toro, well, we don't know because we haven't sent it out, but I would imagine they did pretty well last year. I'm sure they're gonna show up
Yeah, but they
truckless, but
usually do the vendor spot, and I
Yeah.
don't wanna, like, that's fine. As far as like, they pay for a vendor spot and sell some food, cool. If we wanted to, I could see if they wanted to be
Of food.
vendor and set their tent up, and I'm kind of thinking of setting it up in that parking lot area behind the pavilion. Toro.
The Toro. Yeah,
Guacamole.
he's a really nice guy.
Yes, and he really wants to make it go. He's doing everything he can.
But I'd like to get Christine started on that if the committee's okay with going forward this year with a more little relaxed approach to having them going along with you pay us 10% of.
Yeah, and if we don't have enough food trucks, we can always fall back on what we did.
Fall Festival's not designed to make money, it's to break even, right?
well, we're trying to raise money.
It's a combination of things.
I know it was in the beginning, but now it kind of
Well,
changed to a community day.
It's also a community event.
Community
300 this year.
And
We're throwing a bunch of money at it, so
I talked to Christine today about the car show. She knows a DJ that goes to all of them. So I asked her to start inquiring about how many there are that weekend, how many of them are big, so that we can all have an honest conversation about whether it's
worth it to
worth
do
it, or we want to continue to try and run the risk of what we did end up with last year. But I want her to inquire about, get us a little more information about what ones are going on that day. That way we can have an honest conversation about whether we really want to compete with. I think they said the Lansdale Knights one might be that weekend, same day, which is a pretty big one.
Yeah.
And they have a Doylestown one that always seemed to fall.
dusk at night. Theirs is at night.
The Lansdale one's
Yeah.
at night.
So is Doylestown under the lights, except for the Road Angels has one at.
No,
And
I'm gonna have Christine do that. Christine and I also thought of some other interesting activities. We're gonna make one, we're gonna do a backyard games area. So have someone sponsor cornhole, ladder ball, giant Connect Four, and have a bunch of these little things up so that people can go over and play those games, and have a fenced in, like a little fenced in area with backyard games or something that,
Okay.
And hopefully get a sponsor that will cover the cost of purchasing those things. I think that would be a pretty neat activity area, low manpower needed for it. You just set it up and let it sit there and pick it up at the end of the day. We've already reserved the inflatable axe throwing is reserved.
Okay.
We reserved a moon bounce and an obstacle course already. I think I said at the last meeting, caricaturists, balloons, a woman that'll drive around on an ATV and do balloon animals and things like that for people.
The bubble thing.
The
Yeah.
bubble thing,
and
Just
pumpkin painting.
pumpkin painting,
Who did the bales of straw last year?
Public Works, we just went and got them.
From?
I forget where, either Coleman or they got them from somewhere.
But Coleman's coming this year, right?
And then
No,
we
they
gave,
can't. We inquired, they have something going on.
we gave them, they're not there to do the,
No, the
horse
thing,
rides.
we checked, they're not available for that weekend.
and they were the Belgian people too, right? The ones that were on Cedar Hill. We had Belgian horses at the New Britain Borough event, and he had a hayride, basically.
I don't know if it's the same person.
I don't know if it is. I think it might be
the-
two different people.
The one I'm talking about is Mike Coleman, and it's Coleman Hay Farms.
Yeah,
Him and his son run it. Work on it. They have horses and do hay rides, but we checked with them, they're not available.
I
Okay,
wonder
I gotta
if,
try to
when you're
look into
talking
that.
about the backyard games, I wonder if we could do something to tie it into the theme of the
Great.
enactors, early kids games, early American colonial type games too.
We are,
Hoop and
the
stick.
enactors are going to work hand in hand with the Boy Scouts. We're gonna have the Boy Scouts sleep over, and they're gonna be our guards.
Okay.
I checked with the troop leader. They're probably gonna end up staying Friday and Saturday night.
Oh, well, that might be good for their recruitment too. They're gonna
Well,
set up
that's what I'm
tents too.
hoping. And I talked to the enactors yesterday, and he said, well, if the Boy Scouts are there, we'll play games circa that time frame. So
Okay.
they're going to play games with the Boy Scouts, and then people can jump in if they want.
Okay.
I need
Never
to
mind.
know about the, if we're okay with he's going to shoot off a circuit musket gun and potential cannon if we want. There's nothing in there.
Okay, all right,
It's just
that's
smoke.
all right. Just listen to
It's-
projectiles coming out.
Nothing coming in.
I would say I'm fine with that as long,
We're-
because there are a lot of small children. I
Well-
want to make an announcement before we did, and like.
Well, of
use the
course.
Loudspeaker making, I just want to make sure that's the only thing I would have to say.
Yeah, well, the
about it, that's all.
PTSD thing, I get that. I mean,
Well, I'm thinking PTSD, I'm thinking more about small children and loud noises. all of
well,
a sudden
I'm
being
also
involved.
thinking gunplay at a fair
Yeah,
sometimes could freak people out. So we would make an announcement, but I think it would be a really cool thing for people to see how barbaric a gun was back then. Like, it's not like today semi-automatics. It's things like click, clunk, boink, and all the
Powder.
smoke comes out. Now you got to reload the thing. By then, no wonder you got a knife at the end of your gun.
haven't you seen that commercial where the guy walks into the office with a musket loader to shoot people? And he takes a shot, misses, and it's like 15 minutes by the time he gets it
Yeah.
reloaded. And they're just trying to make a difference between what was and what is.
It's
But
called bayonet.
I know what it's called, but a knife. Yeah.
well, yeah,
As far as that stuff goes, yeah, I think that would be great. I don't see anything issues with that.
Okay, he asked, and I know it's the other committee, but they did say they would be there for the 4th of July to ride the float.
Great.
2 of them, just the husband and wife, like I
Or
said.
local, you said.
Well, Pennsburg, but
But-
they're going to be dressed in garb from 1723, and they'll be on the flag with the cake.
Yeah, that'll work.
That's handled. So, I will get the size. We got to do the layout of Fall Fest. Did I go out of order? No, we're still in Fall Fest. But I'm thinking closer to, they're going to need it for the encampment because we have a little bigger, and it keeps getting bigger. And I'm okay with it bigger because we had the $2,000 allowance.
I could do more than that. I think.
I know. 2,000. I'm okay. I'll stay low. If I go over, then I'm okay. But anyway, we're talking, gonna need probably 40 by 50 area.
So 2 tent sizes.
And we got a 20 by 40 tent for the, so we're gonna put the encampment. They're gonna actually have a fire. The Boy Scouts are gonna do, baked goods in the fire pit. Wait until you smell this. Yeah, it's
Well,
ridiculous.
we had mentioned putting them on the left side, right?
They're going to be somewhere around the encampment and tent because there are guards,
So-
and they're going to have 2 kids doing shifts throughout the night. They have to stay awake at the fire
Yeah.
and guard camp.
What I'm saying is we
So
spoke
they're-
about putting them on the left side of the driveway, but that's where all the parking's
yeah,
at.
we
So
park there.
we're gonna have to,
I think it's all going to be pavilion encampment. We're going to have to lay this out.
We got
On
plenty
the
of
same
space.
side of the street where you cook, but just on that side of the
yeah,
pavilion.
yeah.
Right,
We
that's
got
what I was
plenty
thinking,
of
right
space
where it
going
starts
down.
to drop down.
It starts to drop down. It's because I didn't want to put any of them near the performances because I didn't want the loudspeaker and dancing to get in the way if they're trying to talk to people and explain something. I
But we
didn't want them to shout over the loudspeaker.
we have to figure 20 by 40 or 20 by 40. Where's the in? Where's the out? I would think we should.
Kind of thinking, as I'm thinking about Dale, maybe do it as an L shape. They can walk through the encampment and then into the tent and out of the tent and also to other stuff.
Out they go, right? That's
So-
what we were thinking too, but we got to do the layout, and that's this committee.
Yeah, well, I'll incorporate it when I do it. It'll all fit. We've we're slowly expanding into that lower field. I still personally like to keep it as condensed as possible, not give giant vats of.
Okay, so it's going to be encampment, tent, Boy Scouts will be what I'm envisioning. So we have the encampment will be there all night, and they'll probably stay Saturday night too because they want to see the fireworks as well. So they're going to come Saturday morning, set up. If they want to set up Friday night, they can. Boy Scouts will be there. Now we can start setting up the tent, not we, but the other group can set up the tent inside. We can have a lot of stuff set up the night before. At least have the tents, the tables, and
signs or whatever.
Whatever we need.
Signs, but I don't want anything that's.
Well, it's okay.
Well,
we got cards.
Well,
A lot of stuff is going to be paper, so that can't go out to the morning of because
that's
fine.
kind of what I mean. If somebody's donating something, I don't want to leave it outside.
Well, we all know what it's like being out there at 6 a.m, running around in circles. We all did it. We all do it.
Well, set up as much as we
It
can.
goes pretty quick.
If you set up as much as we can, but there are certain, if we're getting things donated by residents that live around here and that, I don't want to take their personal belongings and leave them outside.
I talk with I talk with Bob Showalter. We need to get a separate group going as to what's going in that tent and how we're going to display.
Well, we're almost down to that.
Okay.
300 committee. I think we're just about done all our other projects and tour. And
well, it's at this point for the committee, to me and everything, it's all right. You've committed to ideas. It's now, hey, Flory, do you need help? Can we bring the trail over one weekend before the July 4th and lay things out and see how it looks? There's a lot of that stuff is what the committee needs to start.
Yeah. Well, this is Allison's subcommittee for that tent. So that's subcommittee needs to meet, and we need to meet with Bob because a lot of the stuff is coming from him.
right.
You know,
The only thing we need to pay attention to this year, which was I think chaotic last year, was the parking.
Yep.
Of the vendors and the what do you call it, the
Flea bags,
yeah.
flea markets. Are we on camera?
We're not doing the we're not doing the flea market.
We're not doing yard sales.
We're not doing yard sales.
They're just vendor spaces, so
Yeah,
we're not gonna have that issue of just if somebody pays $30 and does a yard sale, fine.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying it's yard sale. They paid their vendor fee of $30, the same as you, and they're allowed to set up an area. I think the way we're gonna do it this year, talking with Christine, I'm gonna try and do it where we butt the cars in and then they set up behind their cars. That way the vehicles can't leave.
Ooh. We always try that, and there's always people wanting to get out. It's a dud, I'm leaving, that kind of thing. And then we got people driving down the aisle of all the people. I suggest not.
I never had.
Well,
any,
tell you the truth.
anybody
Tell you the
leave
truth.
in
The
middle.
only people that would leave early were the yard sale people.
Yeah.
The vendors usually stay there because they have all their stuff out.
And no offense to the yard sale people, but if you're with the vendors, you're following their rules.
Yeah.
So you're stuck. Go sit in your car and wait till the end of the event then.
Okay, well, I think that has to be a rule that we gotta tell them when they're parking. You can leave your car here, but it has to stay until the end of the event.
And
Well,
then
they're gonna be.
a lot of yard
facing each
sale,
other, so
and
they
then a lot of
can't go
yard
anywhere.
sale people came, they unloaded their trunk or whatever.
Right.
And then they left, and they came back and bought more stuff, and then they left. You know, it's like,
It was kind of, yeah, but it was okay. I thought it was okay because they were on the far end of the parking lot. Now we're moving the cars with I don't know if
we just gotta do a better job this year on that, I think.
I don't think we need all the vehicles in the field. Personal opinion. I just don't think.
I think if they're
Vendors
on the edge over there, out of the way, and there's nothing else there that they can come and go without interfering with the kids running or walking, having them right there,
Yeah, I agree. We need to push them
I think they should be away.
Because
Because it kind of blocks the view from whichever way you're
Yeah.
walking, and
especially if we have more stuff to do and more like food trucks and all that. We need to push them. In other words, start at the behind the sign. Start there and then work your way up.
Yeah, I think we can do any of that. And I also thinking about what we're talking about, if you don't want to do cars, then we have to have someone positioned to show people once they're done unloading, where to park, how to park, to try and get a good line started, because that was the other thing. So go park over there, and then people would park. Some would nose in, some would go this way.
Yeah.
So people kind of just lined up off of what they were doing.
Well, I guess we need just someone.
We
Keep
could
an
do
eye
the
on
line paint, from like LBRC in the tent, and just do lines, and then 10 on each side of the line, and just let them, like Marco said, prime spots. First row is going to be the prime spot. Get here, get set up. I know last time we had numbers set up.
I haven't done numbers since my first year because that was a disaster.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I don't.
No, it's first come, first serve. You line up and that's it.
Right.
I refuse to go back to numbers.
No, we're not, let's not make this a big deal. We just need to do a little bit better, organization of the cars. Yeah.
We need a volunteer that's going to be in charge of vendor parking, but that's going to be before 10
That's usually
a.m.
Mike.
So that instead
Because
of
I had
parking,
parked their cars last year
Unfortunately.
before I had to cook, but it was hard because they were coming in from different directions.
Yeah.
It's like,
And where are you going now? I'm going over here. Well,
and they go, "Can I park my car this way?" No, you have to park the car this way. Can I park my car that way?
Yeah.
It's,
I agree. I think cars, we need to keep that not part of people, because no matter how much we say it, somebody's going to want to leave, and here comes a car in the middle of all the people, and that's a liability. So we're going to get bumped into. Yeah, because they're not all good drivers.
Well,
you
that
can't
was-
control little kids or running around.
That
and
was
not
my
paying
idea
attention.
between the two cars being nose together on the line, tent behind it, next two cars nose together. The cars can't go anywhere. I mean, that was my idea behind it, because it's, just.
Yeah.
If people get their cars, they get whatever, and if you tell people if you want to leave, then your car has to go over there when they're being parked.
We all still, as vendors, we still need to bring our vehicle down to get all our stuff. So just,
Well,
it wasn't
But-
painful
but-
parking your car over there
what
I
I'm
think
saying
this,
is last year when it was cleanup time, their cars were right next to their spots.
when
They
they
weren't
cleaned up.
driving around when they were cleaning up. When they're over there 30 minutes before it's done, they're trying to bring their cars over.
Well,
where their
that's
tent
where
is.
we'll have people now that say no cars yet. There's people.
I think that's all in the layout of where things are going to go. So why don't we
I mean,
leave
I
this discussion
personally
till
thought
then?
them having their cars last year was fine, as it was a spur of the moment thing. That's why I think it
There's
created
just few
chaos.
people.
I think the
parked
vendors
sideways.
will start sitting in their car. They won't be manning their stations. They'll be sitting in their car because it's comfortable. They'll be running their cars if it's hot.
I'm
No.
gonna tell you right now, Dale, if they sit in their car, I don't care. They paid their $30 if they don't want to man their tent. Personally, to me, that's their choice.
Okay. Well,
They want to set everything up and leave it just sit there all day and not man their tents. Me personally last year, I did not see people doing that. When I walked around, I saw people at their tents.
well, what is, we can vote on it. There's 4 of us vote on it.
well, there's no reason to
It's not-
vote.
we don't need to
We
vote.
don't need to
anything.
vote. We just need to be more organized. That's all.
And I would say to you more, but I think it was disorganized because it was a last minute decision
Yes.
to do the car.
Yes.
I
Whereas
think
if
this
we
is all
say we're
part
doing it,
of the schematic of who's going where and what's going to do, and then having chief and
You only get a 10 by 10 area. That's what you get.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we?
I've gotten away from saying 10 by 10 area and say a normal tailgating tent. That's 12 to 10 feet.
Yeah.
You can't say 10 feet because some of the legs go out further. Like when we tried the year we did numbers, we painted 10 by 10 squares and people were always outside
Right.
of them. So
More hours. Lines.
I personally, I like your idea, Michael, or whose ever idea was, we draw some straight lines
Mhm.
and then car here, like Mike says.
I mean, we could draw a parking
boom,
lot
boom, boom, boom.
without numbers and just have them.
No, just like 6 lines, and then you park nose to nose, like you said, nose to nose, and then we just when
Put
lines
your
finish.
stuff behind your car.
Yep.
Yeah, because the other way I was thinking about it is for the cars, we'll just draw a parking lot in the field. And then you'll know it. All right, park your car
Yeah,
here,
just do
park your car here. Next person, park your car here.
lines,
And then
3, 4 lines,
behind.
and that's it.
Yeah.
But I'm just looking, okay, somebody has a car, they start it up, they want the air conditioning. Somebody complains about the car running.
Oh, let's not get into that.
Okay, I don't know. I'm
somebody
just
too
saying.
much
Let's do the
overthinking here.
schematic. I think it would look nicer and be more of a friendly festival look if the cars weren't next to the vendor spots. But that's just my
I
opinion.
agree.
We may
definitely
need-
agree with.
We may need to do that depending on how many activities and the encampment and the tent, where we're gonna put everything.
Yeah, this year's gonna be a little bit different, so,
Yeah, and if we, maybe we put the vendors, have them park in the stone lot in the back. After they're done setting up and they can't.
like come in, offload, and then exit.
And go down that lower end and go park in the, so I mean, if we're gonna have that many things and stuff.
Who was parking up in the grass behind along the property line? That was
I mean, we
vendor.
still use that was vendor parking.
that worked very well, I thought. And the
It's-
people that came and went.
We'll have to, or maybe we'll draw, if we don't wanna do it there, we'll draw the parking lots we'll take the spray paint and draw the parking lot on that side so people know where to pull in and park.
I mean, it was, we never used to let cars there.
Yeah, that was the first year we did that last year.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
first year we did that.
It's got space there, keeps this parking lot area.
Looks more like a
The
festival
The reason,
and the parking.
the only reason we started letting cars on there is for the yard sales, really.
Yeah. They complained, so I just said, everybody has it, I didn't wanna.
Yeah, you got all that stuff to unload. Everybody does if they're setting up a tent, so.
But I'm fine with going back to no cars if we want.
We just gotta, you're right, it's
organized
more
where we
festive
park.
without cars. It's
Yeah,
more
I think-
festive, but
I'm
Yeah,
fine with that.
let's
then.
do no cars, please. I just don't think it'll look good, and I don't like the idea everybody with the doors open, hanging out in their cars, not being at their booth. Be great if it rains, everybody can hide in their car, but yeah, we're not gonna say
yeah,
that.
you come in, offload, and then you move down.
Yeah,
You're
we're
gonna
not-
come
we'll
back the
just
same way.
Figure out how we're gonna park them. If we wanna use that
Yes,
side. I'll have Public Works spray paint on Friday, a parking lot out there. That way people can see, pull in this space, pull in this space. So they,
oh,
Well, but
try to set something up.
let's get our layout of our festival done first, and then we'll worry about.
okay,
We can always send them down to that
Too.
extra space
Yep.
over
The
there.
big trucks were over there too.
yeah, touch a truck was on the
It was
ball
on the
field,
Ball field.
which before we had flea market people, then we moved the trucks. I like the idea of seeing all the trucks there,
I thought, if I get that crane back, that crane being up was awesome.
yeah,
Like anything
Well,
that makes
it's-
it visible, this thing visible.
yeah, well,
That
did
was
you
from
call
who?
Bowman?
It was from
That's
Bowman.
Bowman Crane.
I contacted them, it was the first year they actually, oh yeah, we'll be there. It was very strange.
Well, they got a big commercial out of that. We all love that.
Bowman or Sosa. one of the
Right.
two.
But
And the fire truck having the ladder out, that was impressive.
so. But otherwise, I think we're in a good place. I'll try and, once we get through bingo, next meeting, we'll do a
Right,
little breakdown of what.
yeah, get more details.
Get some more details on the information of where we've been going with that and try and have a schematic for everybody to look at.
So we're doing 10 to 3,
Yes,
and then fireworks start at 6. Is that correct?
yes, 6 to 10. We
6
have a
to
break,
10.
but the fireworks probably wouldn't start till 7:30.
We're gonna say dusk.
I'm probably gonna say, yeah, I don't think it's gonna go to 10, but
I think of 10 as like the fireworks are done by 8:30, but there's the cleanup and getting everybody out of here that the volunteers would be as a time frame for actually working.
Now,
the event would be 4 hours.
who's manning the fireworks?
We hired a company.
No, I'm saying like
Safety wise?
Is it 300 committee?
So we're gonna have a safety meeting about it. There's gonna
and
be
we're gonna talk to
fire,
the Boy Scouts.
there's gonna be fire, EMS and police officers on site. But there's a component of parking that the committee is gonna really need to think about how many people they need to be doing that. To helping
I
people get
wanted
parked.
to consider donating to the fire company. And the donation is them taking care of traffic control. That way they would be there they get some money in their kitty. And we got first responders wandering all over the park, and just in case.
But once people are parked, they don't need this.
Right.
You know, I think people leaving, it's more about having somebody there to make sure you're stopping cars, you know, from where they're walking across and cars are leaving, controlling the people coming out, but the cars themselves will find their way out.
And we'll know better after the safety meeting, but I would assume we're going to have carts at the perimeter just to make sure people don't come walking up while they're getting ready to do fireworks.
Well, most likely on Friday night, caution tape off that entire air perimeter.
And where are they gonna fire him from?
From that real lower field below the stone field.
You know, the new dugout.
Where the new
That
dugout,
field with
dugout?
yeah, down from down there. They're far enough from all the houses down there and everything that they can be up. They can go up to 4-inch shells. The box working with them, whether they're going to have 4-inch shells or stick with 3-inch, because 3-inch will allow for a longer.
Whichever view you like
I
better.
think that, yeah,
Man,
probably the
Dale's got
longer.
everything today.
My folder's getting pretty thick. I'm not gonna lie. I might throw out minutes from the meetings.
And how
'cause,
high are these things going? Does it say on here?
well, they're gonna be good. That's all I can tell you, because we went back to the big boys. Because we got a sponsor and now they're 4-inch.
They can, well, I was talking with Bob, he doesn't.
We're letting him do what he wants.
Conversation about whether they want to do 4-inch, because if you do more 3-inch, you can have a longer show.
Right.
So that's the conversation that needs to take place. You can have
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
4-inch, if you use 4-inch diameter shells,
Less
they cost more money.
gunpowder.
So the
more-
show.
So
you
the
have
smaller
less.
and more,
The smaller you can buy more and lengthen the.
Well, we
fireworks
did,
show.
again, covered bridge, 45 minutes of fireworks. It almost got redundant. Like, was that the grand finale?
Mm.
Oh, here we go again.
so 8 to 10 minutes?
45 minutes is a pretty long time.
It was long. When I say long, it was like my neck
Usually
was getting
about
sore.
20 minutes.
Yeah, well,
Here it says 8 to 10.
8 to
Display
10 minutes.
Display time.
8 to 10 minutes.
Display.
I don't think that was true.
Better double check on
I
that.
see what you mean, but okay, well, I'm just saying it
But
to
that's
you
what
guys. I'm
that's
not
what
saying to anybody
If
else.
it's the 4-inch, that might be the 4-inch time with the 4-inch shells, 8 to 10 minutes.
That's 3-inch. 3-inch, 300-foot radius, 8 to 10 minutes.
No.
Well, it's kind of not worth it to bring everyone in and park them for
That could be a typo though.
an hour. So we better double check, make sure this thing's gonna last at least 20 minutes.
Yeah,
I mean, if display time means that, that's what it says.
yeah, no,
I'm
that's
not sure.
that.
I'm
You're
not sure
right.
what
Could be a
display time.
typo.
Okay, I will. We have the contract, but it did get changed. So
So I think the committee needs to say how long it is and get a final contract.
yes, you're not
Because
kidding.
if it's more than that,
I
Yeah.
thought it was long, but now that Marco just pointed that little line out there on that one.
I never saw it where it said display.
Yeah, I
time
didn't
and what
see it
we
either.
had.
It's on it's on every one.
Well, but I don't know which one.
Yeah, I'll show it to you, but it's this one that
I
has
don't remember that having a time on it, but I guess it did.
it's circled now.
Who's looking at the contract? Who's signing the contract?
That'll come before the board.
Okay.
Does it say it on there? I don't
Because
know.
that, it's gotta be
That's the
signed with the
contract.
board. It can't be signed by the committee. Yeah, work.
Okay, we will definitely get back to you on that part because
That's an awful short period
Yeah,
of
that
time
is.
for the amount of money.
Got, better be at least 15 minutes.
yeah,
15 to 20 minutes is more.
I don't know that. I
Just
will
have
be
really long delays between each.
Yeah.
right. I will be needing more
No, this
bales of
is
hay.
an application for the permit.
Okay.
So we haven't gotten the contract.
We haven't signed anything yet, but we just, at the last meeting, just approved hiring them as the company, but they need to bring forth the contract that the board
Okay.
can sign.
Yeah, can Christine ask them to send a
So I said I
a
gotta clean my
contract
file up.
for the next meeting so we can review it to make sure it's,
Mhm.
you know, the length of time is appropriate.
Yeah, I'll have Christine email Bob, and Bob's been dealing with them. He can get that contract.
So, yeah, what I was mentioning, the bales of hay. I need to make more tables. I'm gonna get another
You
whole
just
bunch.
tell me how many you need and we'll get them.
Okay, I'll get back to you on that. I forget
I
how many I used.
think it looked like you used at least 9.
I think I used
Not either 9 or
10. 10 were a table, and I need real tablecloths this time because those little plastic drop cloths, all the hay was poking
12.
through.
Don't use
It-
tablecloths.
Oh no, that was really cool.
Do you think wine tasting would be allowed?
You're not.
Like for a vineyard to come in and wine taste instead of sell their product?
If they were to buy a vendor spot, I couldn't stop them. I
We
would
don't,
think.
do we have an ordinance?
I
I've
don't know.
always been told no alcohol on township property, so we need to,
Because
Need to check our
Bishop
ordinances.
Winery, they have they do.
Well, we
Yeah.
wanted to do that. We wanted to do beer tasting too from the breweries, but
I mean that it's just something else to add. Could you let us know if that's permitted or not?
I'll look, we'll find out.
samples of beer and wine, not for sale.
Well, yeah, they would sell they could buy a case and pick it up at the vineyard
Oh,
if they wanted
arrange sales.
arrange sales.
You could present it that way as arranged.
it's
Well,
not,
well,
it's
what
not
I'm
the
trying to-
sales I'm concerned about, it's the consumption.
sampling.
So it's
On the
so like
township
you
property.
say wine tasting, I picture people sitting around having a bunch of wine. If you sort of told me they pay for a $30 vendor spot and they're, would you like to try some wine? And adults trying some wine, I don't know that.
Yeah,
Other than what Mary Beth brought up, I'd have to look.
I don't
Make
see
sure we
any
don't
reason
have
why
any-
not, as long as there's no ordinance against it.
so yeah, so two things. One, pre-order, or they could bring their wine to sell at the fall festival.
They could bring it to sell if we're allowed to have.
Yeah.
It's another, if they have a license to sell outside of their winery,
I mean, that's more legal trouble for.
that's
them.
their problem, that's their legal issue.
But like,
I've never seen that at any festivals I've gone to where they actually have bottles of wine for
That's
sale. Is
incredible.
that shorthand?
Well, I'm not 50 yet, so
It
you
almost
wouldn't understand.
looks like Chinese. It almost does look like.
right, we're on the
Anyway.
recording here.
All right,
Oh, I'm sorry.
so the question is whether or not we are allowed to have alcoholic beverages on the property. Then they would have to figure out if they're allowed to
Yes.
sell here.
So I would say samples.
But we would have to make sure they know they're not allowed to open the bottles of wine and start drinking them during the festival. That could lead to some,
Which is why I would be more inclined to say, like most places, give out samples and advertise, and like you said, Marco, go make the actual purchase.
If you mention the fall festival, you get $5.
Yeah, like they
off the
hand out
case.
something there that
Yeah.
says if you go, you get.
They
You
hand
get
out a
this.
coupon.
Yeah, just let us know. Let us know.
Yeah,
It's just
Okay,
another.
What is in the ordinance and what is in our published park rules and regulations.
two
on our
local
website as
breweries.
well.
and 2 wineries.
Because we
Both
have-
would be.
we have that under
Bishops is one of them.
services and stuff. There's a parks use and regulations, like rules and regs.
I'm sure those rules and regs for using the parks, but this is not the use of a park. I mean, it's not like someone coming in here to have a picnic and they bring
Yeah.
their keg with them.
Okay, Mike will get back to the board and let us know.
I can check the second class township code, although I doubt there's anything in there. It would probably either
Also,
be,
eventually gets whatever there is, the board could allow it.
well,
it's
you know, if
ours.
we didn't notice it. No, that's something, because if you have someone that's sampling a little too much, that could cause some issues, but
I mean,
that's up to the vendor to make sure that doesn't happen.
yeah. I mean, like, I just view it as. They bought a vendor spot and they're giving, sampling their
Every
wares,
meeting you get another.
you know, but I definitely agree with you, need to look and make sure we don't have something that
Minimum.
definitively says no alcohol.
Three
Will we
samples
make
per
this?
person limit or something like that.
Yeah.
You'll never guess who made this. Willie
Randy
Clemmer.
Faulkner.
All right, anything else?
Nope, that's all. I
Right.
had.
That's it.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Do we have a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. See you. Good meeting, good meeting. So I will see you at 3:30 on